Whether or not you enjoy Battle Royale games, their takeover of the video game industry in 2017 was rather impressive. While a lot of games tried to capitalise on the trend, only a few would succeed, and many would be criticised for not offering anything unique. By the time Fall Guys was released in 2020, it seemed that the demand for Battle Royales had declined. However, the family-friendly nature of the game would prove to be a hit with players, and the game won several online multiplayer awards. In contrast to other Battle Royale games, Fall Guys was not a shooter game, and instead opted for colourful and chaotic cartoonish gameplay. It was also a very accessible game that could easily be picked up and enjoyed by players of all ages and skills. So let's investigate how Fall Guys would succeed in the oversaturated market of Battle Royale games. But beware of minor spoilers for the game from here on out. In a Battle Royale game, a large number of players are placed into an arena with the simple objective of being the last man standing. In most instances, players scavenge for weapons and items they use to eliminate other players. However, in Fall Guys, the aim is instead to be the last being standing after a series of party-style minigames. At the end of each round, a portion of the players are eliminated before the remaining participants battle for the crown in the final round. Each match in Fall Guys takes heavy inspiration from various TV shows, including It's a Knockout, Total Wipeout, and Takeshi's Castle. The game also features similar humour to these shows, with the player characters frequently tumbling and falling into one another. To achieve this design, the game's physics engine perfectly encapsulates the ragdoll effect. This adds a degree of randomness and unpredictability, leading to the chaotic matches, especially in the initial scramble with large amounts of beans colliding with each other. To make this situation even more comical, you often find yourself in direct competition with players dressed up in random and crazy outfits. You may even form temporary alliances with these zany personalities that are dressed as various food items, wildlife, and characters. The strength of Fall Guys is in how accessible it is to wider gaming audiences, including younger and older players. For this, it has very simple controls, with only running and jumping, as well as the ability to dive and grab onto things. You also can easily pick up the game and perform reasonably well without ever playing it previously. Each level is well designed, and the easy to understand objectives are summarised in a brief description shown on the loading screen beforehand. Even if you are eliminated, the round-based setup of the matches means you don't lose a significant amount of progress as you do in other Battle Royale games. The result is that Fall Guys is incredibly effective at making you want to play just one more game. The variety of different levels included in Fall Guys increases replayability, and is one of the main reasons why the game is a success. There are 3 event types, with the common theme across all of the rounds being to not fall down or fall off the map. The most frequently encountered events are races, where the objective is to be among the first players to reach the finish line. These take the form of obstacle courses with ramps and jumps, as well as walls that cannot be broken. Moving objects are also designed to knock players down, but with some skill, things like spinning hammers can be used to the player's advantage to gain a boost forward. Races also provide skilled players with shortcuts they can use to bypass the slower, safer routes. The second group of maps are based on survival type game modes, and are usually against a timer. This may take the form of platforms that disappear when you step on them, and the goal is to stay above the floor for as long as possible. There are also puzzle-based rounds where you have to count or remember different quantities of items. The players that then select the wrong answers will be eliminated from the round. The remaining rounds are objective-based. For instance, players may need to hold onto an item while keeping it away from other players. In other matches, you may need to get a high score, such as the number of hoops passed through or buttons pressed, or the time spent in specific zones. Sometimes the players remaining will be divided into teams and will have to work together towards a common goal. This can lead to some interesting attempts to communicate without dialogue and instead through interpretive beam movements. It's also incredibly fun to disrupt the progress of the other team by grabbing onto them and pushing them around. Across all of the different rounds, Fall Guys manages to get the balance right between skill and luck. The result is that the game is incredibly stress-free, and being eliminated isn't frustrating, even if it's because somebody else knocked you over. Fall Fall Guys set itself apart from other Battle Royale games with a different format inspired by game shows. Its colourful aesthetic and upbeat soundtrack will provide hours of enjoyment. And whether you were eliminated early or won the crown, it will make you want to play just one more round.